Speaking. Testing.
Should be going.
We're going.
Supposed to be going.
We're going.
Make it happen.
Says live.
Do the thing.
Says live.
Do the thing.
Let's go.
Technical details over.
Technical details over.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to RideADV. Cheers and Beers Sheds number 6. And look, looks like it's light at the end of the lockdown tunnel, so that'll be good.
Big dog.
Should be light at the end of the tunnel. So tonight we're going to talk about quite a few things. We're going to talk about 2021 for starters. And if you want to bring any comments up on the screen about how's the sound going, we're trying a new, whole new system. We've been out and spent all the crashers' money and bought a system. We're going to talk about jerky throttle on a T7, how to split a chain, the difference between rivet links and split links, WR 450 and 250, why you choose what as an adventure bike. Sump plug torque on a 700 has come up. 1 down 5 up is a whole new concept. Now get in your lounge chair, strap in and hold on for this. This week, it is not one person, it's last in when the numbers are up, gets to be there. What's going on?
Or waiting on another channel.
Or waiting on another channel. Interesting. I don't know.
Can you guys hear us out there in La La Land?
I don't know, mate. I can't answer that. Tell your friends we're on this channel. I don't know what to say. Hang on, let me just do it here for a second. Obviously, we run a much better bike ride than we do one of these. Oh, there we are.
We're on.
I don't know, can't do much more about it.
Sorry for the delay, guys.
So back to it. Sorry, yeah, this is just working some stuff out here. 1 down 5 up. Yeah. So this time it's not one person. It is you have to be there at the end. So when you get one wrong, someone else pops up. We've got a prize pack from Chris Watson Motorcycles this week. Chris Watson, if you are watching, you know nothing about this because Lincoln said it was okay. We're going to cover off our RideADV racks. We're going to talk about tool of the week, and this week's tool of the week is my spoke tension wrench. Okay, as I said, we're going to split a chain and we're going to show how we do it, why we do it, and a couple of tools that we use for it, be they cheap, nasty, funny tools, other bits and pieces, and we'll talk a little bit about truing wheels, but not a great deal. And any questions you guys have, and I don't know if there's anything yet, nothing yet, people still catching the concept. Do you get anything up on that? You do, you get questions on that?
Nah, no question, no.
So you got to get it off the stick?
Yep, off the stick.
Okay, all right.
Let's start with the first topic.
All right, so first topic we'll start with was a question brought up by Stevie Booth, and he was talking about the Snatchy throttle. So, traditionally, pretty well, I think every Yamaha I've ever owned, I've always found it. If you're trailing around a roundabout, you've been in second gear, and you're zero throttle, that initial just on the throttles, it's a jump. It's I think someone nice described it as the Yamaha Snatch. Snatch, be careful. And it was like that. Now, the WR was the same. The 1200 was the same. My Indian over there, it's got a gap in it. Like it's a massive snatch off idle, like on a roundabout or something. That's not what that bike's designed for. So yeah, it's that. Now, I've been following a couple of guys in America that have tried different cams, and I'll get the details. And when I say cams, the cam on the throttle tube Stig, you want to walk over there so you can find a throttle tube in one of the drawers. And the throttle tube has a different cam on it in that it pulls the cable at a different rate. So, you know, I don't know if that makes a difference. I know that when we did try a tune in one of the bikes, it cleaned it up off the bottom, and that sort of fixed it. I know it fixed the WRs a lot, so that's about it. I find sometimes if it's a real tight roundabout, I might have it in second gear, I might trail a bit of clutch or cover my clutch. I hope that helps.
Okay. Question?
Yep.
Okay, first one off from Jeff Ross. Last week you touched on unsprung weight. Are heavy duty tubes worth the cost of the added unsprung weight to be a little more puncture resistant on a T7?
Mate, most definitely. Yes, most definitely. Now, unsprung weight becomes a critical thing for top supercross riders. Unsprung weight across a set of studders, by all means, that's really anything. You and I, nah, no difference at all. Most guys that race enduro run moose tubes, and they're a lot heavier, so they're giving that up there. At a 200 kilo bike, you're not going to notice it. Absolutely not going to notice it. So definitely not worth it. And you talk about heavy duty tubes, I think we worked out the other day, and I hate saying this, I think we've had something like 2 or 3 flats and 180,000 kilometres running those V-rubber tubes from Link International.
Cool. You said this. Someone said the Stig needs a helmet.
Stig's got a head like a robber's dog. Come back to my list and we'll come up with the next one.
Stevie Booth was mentioning that someone said something about tuning the ECU for it.
Yeah. So as I just said then, Stevie, we had one that we changed the tune a little bit. We played with a few bits and pieces, and it cleaned it up off the bottom. So I know in emission testing, ADR emission testing for diesel engines, one of them is idle. So you have very little fuel at idle, and they run it very lean at idle. And one of the things we found on the T7s on the dyno was that when the only place they were a little close to lean was off idle. Everywhere else they were fat and rich. But that's that snatch. That's one of those. So they must take a measurement off idles, which causes that.
Okay, mate, we got Luke's asked a fairly decent question, but one that I know you'll be able to answer pretty quickly. What's the best year model to look for in a 250R?
Okay, so the differences between a 250R between 08 and 2021, the ECU and the 08 and some of the 09s were different, and there was a stator update and change. That's really the only thing.
Okay.
And so to go right into it, the 08 made more top end. So when we looked to go race one of them at Condo a few years ago, we actually put an 08 ECM in it because it made a bit more top end. So traditionally we'll run 1 to 2 teeth more on the back of our 0809 than we will the other one.
Okay. Stuart Lever was talking about tool setups. We'd like to see what tools you carry during rides, and we did say we'd cover off on that one stage.
Get that out of my bag? The feral looking toolkit I got. All right, so some plug talks. Now that came up. I rang Lincoln because I've got to be honest, never tensioned one in my life. I rang Lincoln, and the discussion we had, Lincoln said it's very tight. The manual's very tight, and he said, now if you reuse the sump plug washer, and it's a crush washer, so it crushes once and that's it. You're supposed to replace it every time. If you use a new washer, it's okay. But he said it is tight. But he said if you're using the same washer and it's already crushed, it's getting right up there. Okay. Okay. Cool. Another thing I want to raise while you're looking at the questions there, Lindsay Peterson, if you're watching, I hope you are. You mentioned last week that it's all Yamaha, it's all tuning forks and whatever. Mate, yeah, I can only work with what I have. But when this is over, we'll get you to come down one Friday night with your PR7. Happy to have it on display. Happy to talk about, happy to go over it by all means. Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be really awesome. Shreya Polinsky, can you explain the difference between lean and rich fuel burn? And can they be detrimental to a bike's performance, Greg? Yeah, so a really good way to talk about lean and rich. So you get to a point, and I'm not going to go through the whole technical part of it, but you get to an air-fuel ratio or a lander number that is the ultimate burn given the atmosphere and moisture in the air, etc. There's a famous YouTube clip, video of Peter Brock at Bathurst in the Commodore going for Hardy's Heroes or the top 10 shootout, and this thing is pumping black smoke out of it. You can see it's too rich, and that'll be too fat. And when we say too rich, too fat, it'll actually be detrimental to its performance. Lean is fast. Lean is dangerous. Okay. So when you lean it out, your cylinder temperatures come right up, but that's when you get your optimum lander, and that's when it's good. No manufacturer makes a lean bike anywhere it's on the throttle, because they will grenade, they will seize, they will burn the edges of valves, because that's the hot point you get. They will expand the piston, top of the piston, because of a hot cylinder temperature, and they'll seize the crown. There's a whole heap of things going on. It doesn't happen, and I had a couple of tunes in my WR now. I had a tune I used to run in the Wattigans when I wasn't much wide open throttle. I took it out to Simpson once, and we ran out to Big Red. And you can hold a WR250R for 5th, 6th gear, 2 gear changes between Birdsville and Little Red. And when you come off, it's another 30k, and you hold it flat, and you flat change 5th, 6th. Anyone that bought one of my bikes, I never did it the 1 year road, honest. And but the first time I went out with this tune, I forgot to change the tune. And when I pulled up back at the pub at Birdsville, and I'll show you on a WR here. This cover here, I had a carbon fibre cover here, and I had some of the small aluminium bolts they make for your fork guards, and I had it, hold on, it had melted the front aluminium bolt. The back one wasn't much better, and the carbon guard looked like it was starting to burn. Way too hot in the cylinder, which was way too hot on my pipe there. So that night, I hooked the laptop up, put my other tune back in so I could hold it flat and not have to worry about it.
No problem.
You know what?
Good question, good answer.
That's the bike Rooster's got.
Oh, okay.
I think he sold it. Only rode at church on Sundays.
Steve Usberg was asking about that Sunplug torque.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So does that clear it up, Steve? Yeah, it appears to be too much, and certainly too much if you're reusing the washer. The washer about $3. Put a new washer on would be my advice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
One of the boys was asking, mate, where your beer was. Well, it's never too far away, guys. Never too far away.
Here, and my glasses, please, Steve.
Is Jake's pet. Little dog. Get on, little dog.
Not my pet.
Killer.
Righto. So, full disclaimer here first. I have not opened this up in a long time. I've had it for a long time. It's saved me every time. I can't remember. Lefty, if you're watching, I think the last time I opened this for myself was the day you come and got me when I broke those 8 spokes at Oberon. You turned up and I was 3 parts drunk, and my bike fell over the trailer going home. So, this is a bit feral inside here. Let's go. Okay, I've got some quick metal repair. A set of bigger Allen keys. I don't really know why I got that. I got a knife for knifing things. Be a screwdriver. There'll be an attachment for that. It's a big enough screwdriver you can get your hand, you can get a bit of oomph on. I've got this lightweight thing for doing wheels. Don't worry about ever putting your ratchet in there. Put your spanner on one of them, and that gives you better drive. Okay. I've got a chain breaker, just a cheap little chain breaker. Now, if I can, when I'm doing a chain, I normally, can you focus on that? I'll try and knock the edge off the pin if I can. Makes it easier. But this sucker will push it out, and somewhere there's a spare pin for that.
If you don't, quite often if you don't razz that off, guys, you'll end up busting this pin inside here, and that'll be the end of it. So just try to remember to have a file with you, or pre-do it as Greg's done, and that will be a big advantage.
I got some basic spanners. I normally have a 13mm ratchet spanner, because the ratchet spanner will, I use it on the chain, no, what do you call it? Rim lock?
Rim lock.
Okay. Someone asked about levers the other day. These are made from unobtainium. That's right, unobtainium. They are so light. Okay, I have a 22 and a 27 from WR days. That 27 will get me out of trouble on the back of my 700, but you can only move it a little bit because of the cutout. Yep. We do have these, and I've got it in my tool bag, and like I said, you can put your foot on this. There's a couple getting around. There's another company making them. They say you can't tighten your back wheel up to factory spec. Be very careful of that. I don't know who's liable for that, but you can stand on that one, you can tighten it up for sure.
Does unobtainium mean you can't obtain it?
Yeah, I don't know, mate. They're super light and they're super strong. They're a good spoon. Now, I normally like to have three tyre levers, and people say to me, you know, you don't have a centre stand, but I've got a rooster. He'll have extra levers too. Spanners. I've got a centre punch for punching centres, a spoke spanner for my bike, a couple of multi-spanners just to get me in and out of trouble for any other bikes, spark plug spanner, another spoke spanner, got a KTM spanner.
What?
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah, so that's 27, 17, 21 and 32. So yeah, bits and bobs there. There's another bag in there, round bag of things. I've got a cigarette lighter. For my screwdriver, a multi-spoke spanner for in case I do something else, a few chain links, and in here there's some sockets, there's some more chain links, some flat screws, some Allen keys, driver for this socket set, tyre gauge, gas bottle adapter, another chain link, there's a few bits and pieces. In here, I have a set of jumper leads. I kid you not, we came back to my car once in Nowra, Crash was with me, and as we drove up to my car, we've been going away 2 days, I could see the back tail light of the trailer just flickering. When I go to start the Ranger, it's click, 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 click. Those leads, I left the WR running on the Ranger for 30 minutes and started the Ranger. True story.
How good's that?
And then in this one here, I've got some Torx bits, some more chain links, some rubber cement, tubeless kit, sockets, heaps of chain link, all the chain link bits and pieces there. That shit is going to get you out of trouble or into trouble one day, no worries at all. Okay? And then yeah, Torx bits, tyre gauge, wire, okay? And that's pretty lit. So that is my toolkit. Yeah, it's not pretty, but yeah, neither am I.
Gets the job done. Okay, what have we got here?
Let's scoot that up.
Chain guide. Is it needed on the T7 Yags? I've never seen the need in any conditions on mine. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, having said that, we ran 660s.
This is Bill, sorry, Bill.
Sorry, Bill, how are you, mate? Mate, I ran 660s for, I'd have over 400,000 Ks accumulated on that model, and never, once, I think Pete the Wolf or Chicken or someone threw a chain on the putty road of all places, but no, never threw a chain. Now, Howie doesn't have one on his bike, right? Well, that said, all of our bikes have them. One thing I do like about them is that they're a plastic chain guide. And why do I like... And why do I like that they're a plastic guide? Because I did have a WR once. Can you get in around, tuck around that corner?
Which corner?
Oh, just get that aluminium chain guide.
Yep. There we go. That one there.
That'll do. So on the aluminium one, Billy, I once hit a rock and it bent the aluminium chain guide, and then it just kept throwing the chain off, and we had trouble bending it back. Plastic one, if it breaks, it's out of the way, it's gone.
Okay, cool. Okay, John Leishman, TB, what would you say is the most important items to carry in the average rider's first aid kit?
First aid's not my area of expertise.
Basics though?
Yeah, a basic first aid kit, snake bite kit. Listen, John, I'll put that aside and we'll get Clay to answer that, maybe pre-record a small thing. We'll talk with Clay, he's our medical expert.
Yep.
All of our guys...
It's a good question, it's an important one.
All of our guys and girls in RideADV are basic first aid trained, and then some of them are pain managed trained, so they could probably answer it. It's not my area. Every time I tell someone they're okay, it turns out they got 9 screws and a plate, so it's not my area of expertise.
So Yags, we've got another one there, if that's okay, from Andre Kruger. So doing a long unassisted ride on the T7, what spare parts would you carry? So specifically on the T7, solo ride, what would you carry?
Well, before I left on the ride, I'd make sure that unless my wheel bearings, unless I knew hand on my heart my wheel bearings were 2,000 or 3,000 k's old, I'd be putting new wheel bearings in, including a push drive bearing. If my chain and sprockets were anything over 10,000 k's or 10,000 k's old, I'd put new chain and sprockets on before I left. That's just something I've been religious about forever. I'm doing rides like that. Mate, there's not a lot of spares. I'd make sure I had a chain link, and it would probably have to be a clip link, and I'll cover clip and rivet links shortly. If you want to pull a rivet link out of one of those kits, just so I've got a rivet link to show them, please, mate. Yeah, to cover that off. Mate, there's not a lot of spares. The brake lever, if you bend it, you can normally get it to function again to get you home. That's normally not such a big issue. Just even if you leave the whole thing in, mate, I'll get it out of it or something. Probably a spare pre-filter if I was going in a group. But yeah, not a lot else, mate. I can't see the point a lot else. I'd have it serviced before I left. We've never, touched wood, never ever in all of our 1200s, 660s, 250s or 700s pulled a fuel pump out of one of our bikes ever, for a reason. And that would be over 1 million kilometres in all those bikes accumulated.
Okay.
All right,
next topic.
Got to talk about chain. This chain here is an O-ring chain. So we can see here there's an O-ring between the links. And as I said before, if I'm in the shed especially, even with my good chain breaker, I normally grind / file. Who am I kidding? I grind the head off it, and it just makes working. It takes the pressure off the tools. How we talked about before. Now this tool has a whole heap of bits and pieces in it, so I just need to make sure it's wound back so that is below that there. And when I put it together here, I do have a couple of adapters I can use. So there's one that can go in here, locks in there, and when I set this up here, I'll set it up in there. I should have got a manicure today. Why is it always more awkward when you got a crowd?
On camera,
yeah. Okay, so I'll just get that lined up. And now I've got that clamped in there like that. Okay, and that's in, that's firm. It's all seated in properly. And then this tool here, it comes down, winds down through here. You get your spanner. There's your pin at the bottom. Okay. Didn't put the spring in that, so. Okay, so now that pulls apart. Okay. My O-rings are still there. I can take my O-rings on and off. Now, if I'm joining this chain, I've got my kit over here. The most important thing is we make sure we've got our O-rings.
Stick prepared earlier.
Yep. Got an O-ring through like that. Bring our other chain up here. Get our other O-rings off the clip. Now this is the reason I'm covering this off, is the biggest struggle is normally compressing, especially these are O-rings, and people ask what's the difference between O-rings. You want to open that bag, please? Carefully, because we're going to put it back in there. That's an O-ring. You can see that's a round, we look at that, it's a round O-ring. Where the other ones you'll see advertised are X-rings and all this sort of stuff. You'd normally get your little bag of lube and put all your stuff on it like that. You can see I've got an O-ring both sides now. The plate goes on, and then how do I squeeze that down to get that clip on? That becomes the challenge. Now this tool that I've got, it's got different plates and bits and pieces for doing that, okay? That's one way. There's these things I got off MX store, probably a drunk purchase one night, and they don't do a bad job of clamping it down, probably. Okay? That's not a bad thing. Just, is there another question, by the way? The other thing I normally do, just if I'm in a hurry, pair of multi-grips and some sort of nut or a collar or a sleeve. And if I do that, put it over the thing like that, clamp on it, come to the other side, clamp on it. I'll start to get that down a couple more times, and then I need to put this on here. Vice grips, please. Oh yeah, it's a lot.
So one of the viewers, our next question while you're getting that was, do you recommend sliming your tyres, Greg?
What's that?
Slime in tyres for
No.
repairs? No, I don't.
Tubeless maybe, not tube tyre.
Yep.
Okay, so now I'm just going to come back to this, I'll get this adjusted. Alright, so now I've got that down, I hope so, I've got that down enough to get my clip on. So see how that clip will slide down? You can see it's got a taper. Okay, now, here's $1 million question. This goes on, which way does this go on? If I'm looking at this chain and you're looking at this chain, say the chain was going, chain was going to rotate this way. The clip goes on that way. And that is because of the direction of the rotation. Oh, answer the load. The direction of rotation. So as it rotates, if a stick comes here and it hits this clip, if it was going the other way, hit this, it could flick it off. But if it's coming this way, it's going to skid over it. Now, remember I pushed that plate down? One thing I want to do afterwards is go like this. And I want to bring that back up, make sure that plate's right out. Now, that may have a sharper side on that clip, okay? It may have a sharper side. Yeah, sharper side to the grooves is normally something. Now remember these O-rings, I want to cover this off. This is an O-ring chain, that's definitely an O-ring. Well, this is I think it's an X-ring chain, is it?
No, sorry,
no, over there. It's an X or it's a something ring. Have a look here. And you see it's got multiple grooves in it. It's narrower, it's shaped different, and it's probably an X or a Y or X ring. It's an X ring, as it says on the back, an X ring chain, okay? Now this here, the last thing I want to talk about is this link. Now, see it has no groove here as we had here on our clip link. This one here is what we call a rivet link. So when we put it together and we press that plate on, we assemble this tool here with this plate in the bottom of it. All right, it goes in like that. The link goes in there like that. And then we use this tool here and we put it in this thing here.
Andre was asking, where can you get a 525 clip link from?
Goes in here, okay? And I'll get this second, Andre. This tool gets crushed down, and see that little round bit in there? That hits on the end of that, okay? And it mushrooms that out. You go and find one over there for us on the bike, and so we can show it. So, and that mushrooms that out. Now, once that, because that's obviously over there like that, it mushrooms over and it can't come off. That is called a rivet link, and you need to run a rivet link on a 700. We ran clip links on all of our WRs. I put a rivet link on when I did the double Simpson crossing in a big hurry, but yeah, the other bike that went with me, he didn't have it, so it probably wasn't necessary. But the twin cylinders, bigger bikes, and reliability probably. I think once I've lost the chain link. I have had one flick off a couple of times. It kept losing the chain link, and the aluminium chain guide on the WR was bent, and that was what was flicking it.
Okay. All right, a little bit of chat between the guys there, which is good, sharing information with each other as well in the comments. So well done, guys. For those of you who've got the information, sharing it, nice work.
You want to go over there and Stig will show you, he's got one
Okay.
set up.
Let's have a look there, down there. Thank you, sir. Okay, so there it is there. The little tiny rivet link there, you can see it mushroomed out. That's the puppy there. Nice work, Stig. Cool.
While we're at this bench, how we'll cover the tool of the week. As I said, it's a tension wrench. It is a spoke tension wrench that I have. So if I was building this wheel or doing this wheel, I'd find out whichever spanner. You think I know off the top of my head, wouldn't you?
No.
Whichever one fits. Definitely like that. Then I'd find what the tension is, check the spec. A lot of them are around 4 pound, but just check the spec on which one you're working on. I'd set it, and at this tension wrench, and if you can follow the action around here, Howie, as it sort of goes over, as I tighten, it'll go over cam. So as I get around to the right tension, it'll go over cam. Well, that's loose. Okay, see it go over tension?
Yep. So there she goes. Click, click.
Okay, if I'm doing a wheel, I find a starting point. I use this balance weight here as a starting point, and I might tension this one, then I'll go 1, 2, 3, I'll tension that one, I go 1, 2, 3, I'll tension that one, and I'll go around. The next time, depending on your wheel, I'll come back to here as the start, and I'll go around again, I'll come back to here as the start. That's the best way to check all your tension or retention your wheel. Cool. That's available from your bike shop, and get it through Link International.
Nice. Look at that Ferris wheel, special.
Other questions?
Not at this stage.
All right, that's good.
Oh, okay, here we go. Tony Randall, Yags.
Yep.
He's asked, hey Greg, what do you think about the new Motios bash plate? Is that how you say it? Motios?
Yeah, Motios. I have a Motios one on my bike.
Yeah, you noticed that last week?
Yeah, all right. Yeah. Mate, at the moment, I'm loving it. I don't see...
Looks the shit.
Yeah, it does. Look, I don't see any great difference between it and the B&B. And while we're on this,
it does have good coverage.
It does, and it has a bit more coverage as a stator, it's a stator cover. But look, one thing I do want to talk about, I see people, they're riveting pieces of aluminium or welding pieces of aluminium all the way out here. And I think we covered it off. Mate, it gets to here and you lean on it, it's going to bend in anyway, and it's still going to hit the cover. And maybe if you hit it here and it bends in, it's going to bend it there. So, I don't know. It seems to be, and I stick by this. I said before previously, by the way, this cover was plastic. I was wrong. It's aluminium. So yeah, and there's one somewhere in our support car, but yeah, we've never had to use it.
Moto Rides Australia was asking if we're running this off a GoPro.
We are running off a GoPro 9.
Assuming media mods, question?
It has the media case on it that has the
little microphone
on the side of it.
Diffuser, furry dog thing.
For Dave O'Rourke, mainly. We did mainly for Dave
just
O'Rourke.
For Dave.
Yep.
It's beautiful sound, Dave. It sounds beautiful.
He's a sound connoisseur, our friend.
He is. Moto Rods was saying we're around the corner from them. We'll be able to catch up soon, mate, when things get back to normal. We're getting there, boys. We're getting there. And girls.
Right, I'm going to play 1 out of 5 up. We've got a prize pack from Chris Watson Motorcycles. I believe a couple of t-shirts were mentioned.
On your Chris.
And so with size, on your Lincoln, who's going to tell Chris. So we just need your size at the end of it. Now, the competition's different from this week, and Stig will need that to call out who gets it first. The competition differs this week. It used to be one person got it right, and then we went from there. What we've decided to do, because the only thing that ever stays the same here is change, we've decided you're in until you get it wrong. When you get it wrong,
you're out.
You're gone, the next person in. So, 1 down, 5 up, here we go. Correct answer on the screen, first correct answer. You got it refreshed, you ready to go, Stig? Right. How many world championships has Valentino Rossi won?
So just repeat that question again.
How many world championships has Valentino Rossi won?
Okay. Come on,
plenty
guys.
of answers?
Not as yet.
No answers?
Bring it in
it's
there,
a bit of a
boys.
delay.
It is. It is a couple of seconds delay. That's why I asked you to repeat it.
Yep.
So I wouldn't.
How many world championships has Valentino Rossi won?
Must be 100 people, 1,000 people know this. Here we go. No, Jace, you're off the mark there. Dave, you're off the mark as well. Luke, you're out. You've missed it.
They can guess again.
Yeah, you can have another crack if you wish. Here we go. Pooley. Pooley's got it right with 9.
9. So it was 9 World Championships, 7 in the major class, and they were across 500, 2 strokes, and then the 4 strokes he won 125 and 250. So Pooley, you're up.
69.
He'd be happy to go. All right, Pooley, this one's to you. And I mean, if you send him an answer, mate, that's up to you. But I wouldn't be saying boo. So Pooley, how many Isle of Man TTs has Guy Martin won?
Ooh, okay. We know he's been in a few. Let's have a look there. How many Isle of Man TTs
has Guy Martin won?
Okay. Waiting for the new answers to roll in now. Got your back to us, mate.
Sorry, mate.
You all right?
We got any guesses or what? Pooley, you run out of time.
Have a go, Pooley.
Can't, he's Googling. I bet he's got to be Googling.
Dave Crombie said 7.
No.
Yeah, the delay's our end, he's saying. Steve Parrish, 15. Pooley, no friggin' idea. And someone's got the right answer, so we can put that straight up.
So Pooley's out. So
Pooley's out.
Who got it?
Steve Isberg.
Steve Isberg, yeah. Guy Martin has won no Isle of Man TTs. He's had 17 podiums. And who got it right?
Steve Isberg.
Steve Isberg, do you know how many times he's broken his back? Just, it's not a question, it's just a question. Does that make sense?
Yep, kind of.
All right.
It's not in the comp.
How many Mr. Motocross titles, Steve Isberg, how many Mr. Motocross titles did Stephen Gore win? I need like thinking music.
You do.
Yeah, no, it's all good, thanks.
Okay, Mr. Motocross titles for the very one and only
Mr. Stephen Gore.
Mr. Stephen Gore. Delays at our end apparently, but that's okay. Jace has gone for 3. Sorry, Jace.
Jace isn't even in it. Got to wait for Steve to get it wrong all right. No, Steve?
Yeah, Steve's gone for 4.
You're right, Steve. Good. Steve progresses to the next question. How many titles did Chad Reed win in the US? And I'm talking indoor, AMA and outdoor titles. How many titles did Chad Reed win in America? So it's up for Steve, this one.
Whoa, here we go. They're coming in. Nope. Scott Kemp's having a shot at the title.
It's a couple of shots he won. Doesn't count.
That's all right. Doesn't hurt. Come on, big dog. There you go. Hey? There you go. Come on, killer. Go and guard the bikes, will you? Go guard the bikes.
What have we got? Got an answer? We got a bump Scott? Is it official? We bumping Scott or what?
Give him 2 more. Give him 2 more seconds. Steve. That's it. Yeah, he's got it right.
Is he?
3. Yep.
All right, so Steve's still going, is he?
He is. Steve's still on.
Okay, got a trick question
You got to
for you,
be
Steve.
quicker on the Google,
You got to get
Steve.
quicker on the Google. How do you spell KTM?
Oh, there we go. That'll test him. Remember that there was a radio show once on, I think it was on Triple M, and they asked a guy to win tickets
Oh, just spell
to
ACDC.
ADCD. They go, have a think about it.
Yeah, he was
Have a think
shocking.
about it.
Steve got that one? I've got to assume Steve's going to get it.
You had about 4 goes at that. I think we should assume that.
Oh, I'm going to assume that, Steve. We're going to go. Which brand, which manufacturer, and this goes back to American Supercross, which manufacturer is the winningest, is that a word?
Yeah, it is.
Winningest manufacturer for US Supercross motocross titles? Okay,
That's a good
right now,
question.
Clay Marks will have just made a mess in his little boy pants. He will have just made a mess in his little boy pants. Did you guys know what the answer to that is, by the way?
No, I didn't.
Oh,
But
you do now, don't you?
I don't yet. No,
It's,
show me.
It's
Right, okay, there we go. There we go. Let's see what we got here. Oh, there's Scott Kemp. He spelled it ADCD on your Kempy. Well done. Tony Randall spelled KDM as kick the mother.
Kick the mother, keep taking more money.
Yeah.
But anyway,
So
still
let's
waiting on
see.
Scott. Scott,
Yep.
which is the most winningest brand of US motocross titles? So motocross, supercross and outdoor motocross.
He has Ding-a-ling-a-ling Kawasaki.
He is on it. I think he's got one. He's got two more to go. So, okay, what brand of bike was Scott? What brand of bike was Kenny Roberts racing in flat track in the US before he went to America? I went to Europe. What was he racing flat track in America before? What brand before he went to the US? Remember, flat track's huge. No, tell him. Yeah, none of these blokes know.
Okay.
You got an answer yet or what? That's just going to confuse them when they do that. That would just be confusing.
That's the plan. I can't make it easy.
After this, I'm going to talk about the calendar.
Okay, Steve, he's gone for Suzuki.
No, I'm sorry, Steve, you're out. Anyone else want to answer that for the right answer? To carry on, they've only got one question after this.
Cooley's jumped straight back in.
And?
Do we go for someone that's gone before?
Oh, we had John Harrison.
No, you
was
can come
earlier
back,
than
you can come back, you can come back. If someone...
But John was earlier.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's got to be after Scott got it wrong.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. So it's Pooley again, is it?
Oh.
Or is it Steve Wright? It was Pooley. Yeah.
Pooley, okay.
Pooley, righto, mate.
So, Pooley, Jesus, you got one question to go.
He's competitive, bastard.
Well, I bet he's sitting there.
Mr. Elbows.
I bet he's sitting there with the elbows up at the phone, at the computer.
That's how he eats dinner, you know.
Yeah, and his best South African accent.
That's only because he had 15 brothers and sisters and he had to elbow them out the way.
Everyone's going to think that we've set this up because we know Pooley. All right.
Got to be in it to win it.
Right, Pooley. How many titles did Casey Stoner win in the major class? You were Googling it.
Yeah, I didn't find it.
You didn't find it. How do you know what the answer is?
I don't know. You were busy setting up. What about Chris's one?
All right, now scratch that
But
question.
we give him an estimate, right?
No, but Casey Stoner, can someone answer that? That was really, that's just typical of this shed.
It would,
No.
Wikipedia wanted to give me a whole life story. I didn't have time to look through that.
Got an answer there? I think it was two, wasn't it? Was it two?
I think it was.
All right.
Let's see what we get.
Roland said 3.
Dave Rowland said 3. Let's see what the general consensus
Tom Roy
is.
said 12.
Somebody Google it.
All
Yeah,
right.
we're getting
David
threes. We're
Paul
getting
said
keen
3.
threes.
Okay, 3. You're the winner, Pooley. Congratulations. Now congratulations, Pooley. We'll get the details off you later. We'll wipe him. But no, congratulations, champ. Just while we're talking about Chris Watson, if you go to the Yamaha YouTube page, and we'll talk about a deal, and we'll talk about a few deals, but this will be our deal of the week. Chris Watson, you talk about a guy who has more sporting caps, more Australian titles than any other sportsman, more
Not just
sporting
bikes.
caps, not just bikes. I'm talking all sports people. He has 41 national titles and 78 other titles. I can't remember whether they're just regional titles or something. The guy and his passion and what he does. And there's a video on the Yamaha site, on the Yamaha YouTube page, if you go down through it, talks about Chris Watson. It's well worth to watch, and it's well worth what that guy does for the Cessnock area. And correct me if I'm wrong, anyone, but I think he sells more WR450Fs than any other dealer in the world.
Wow.
So there's a stat for you.
There you go. Shows
Okay.
the popularity.
Is there any questions before I start on next year?
No.
Okay. I want to talk about how much time we got. What time is it?
Quarter to 8.
Quarter 8. So we've got 15 minutes. Beautiful. Couple of things I want to clear up. So definitely on the website, this year remaining is the police ride. And now the date's been made official. We've had quite a few. We've had probably half a dozen people not be able to go. So there's a few spots. There's spots open up there. It's not going to the wall, but it's a 5-day ride in New South Wales, and it's a cracker of a ride. Okay. So this is not about your dog, mate.
No, I'm just varying the angle, bro.
Put a coin in his head. So that's a cracker 5-day ride. Okay, that's worth doing. Second of all, there's an intro on there. So the intros here were a Yamaha initiative to bring people on all brands of bikes on our rides. to educate them and bring them on. Now, a couple of things I want to talk about. Not the intro starting here. If you come up on the Friday night, you can camp here. Over the weekend, you can leave your car and everything here. It's all safe. You can camp here. Everything you need will be here. Now, what I do want to say next year is the introduction rides. The first one starts up here and it goes to Singleton. The second one starts here the first day, comes back to here on the Saturday night, and in the shed here, we will do tyre changes and all sorts of various bits and pieces. There'll be actual shed time after dinner. We'll have barbecue dinners, etc. like that.
Pole dancing.
Pole, yeah, rooster. Get him on the pole. So there's that. That's just a couple of things I want to clear out. So we've got the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th of November, we've got the police ride. 5 days of premium riding. We've got the intro. Then the weekend after that is the 20th, 21st. We've got the WR Rally starting in Cessnock. There's some places available on that too. It's going to Nundle up through the 21 Creek Crossings, one of the great adventure rides in Oz, in the south coast, north coast. Now,
Central
next
coast.
year,
North coast.
the calendar is being no. The calendar is being put together now. About another week. We have to ring everywhere, we have to do all stuff, so it's taking a little while. Obviously, it's not the only thing we do. But I can tell you right now, there's nothing in January, all right? It's too hot. And we've got to do a little bit of pre-running to get it ready. In February, we have an intro. It starts here, it goes to Singleton, and back to here. Again, you can come up on the Friday night, you can camp, you can park your car, you can do whatever you need to do. Unless there's a fire ban, we'll have a fire going. There'll be gas barbecues, there'll be fridges, there'll be everything you need. That's the go. In February, the same as this year, the last weekend of February, the 26th, 27th, the 28th, and the 1st of March, we have the high country again. Similar places to where we went before, but same sort of great riding, different tracks as much as we can. That's Feb. March. In March, we're going to the Flinders Ranges from Condobolin. We have a 10-day ride. It's only $3,000. The majority of your meals are covered. It's a cracker event. There's about 10 places available on that now because it's had to be moved and stuff. Support
Get in,
truck,
guys,
you get a
get in.
tent. And it won't be that cheap again going forward. We've worked it out now, so that's as good as it gets. It starts and finishes in Condobolin. It goes to Menindee Lakes, which is full of water now, which is rare. Yanta, Arkaroola. There's a loop day out of Arkaroola. You can have a day off. You can walk around Arkaroola, or you can go on a loop ride. We go from Arkaroola to Cameron Corner, down along the dog fence to Pack Saddle. We go across to Tilpot, Louth, and then we go over to Burke, and then down to Nyngan, and back to Condobolin to the centre of Australia, centre of New South Wales. Quickly into April, we've got the Tanneray Rally, 700 Tanneray Rally in the Victorian High Country. It starts and finishes in Jindabyne. It's a 4-day event. That will be red hot. Limited numbers on that as it's all about the experience. It's not about the numbers. So for that, it's going to be a cracker event. So that is all we have in April, except the last weekend we have the WR Rally, which next year, we'll start and finish in Moorhope. Okay. So it's traditionally been in Cessnock. We've ridden that to death. I want to get back a little bit more to the format we had of probably just a little bit more bush and a little bit more adventure riding. So it's going to go to Moorhope. And that'll include lunch at the pub with no beer one day. In May, we're off to the Simpson Desert with Frontline Safari. Now, if you want to ride the Simpson Desert, if you haven't done it before, this is the way to do it. Come out with Frontline Safari. They're running, it's their event. We're running logistics with Next Adventure. The ride starts, it goes down the Birdsville track. You'll get to see famous Maringarani, Maree, Lake Eyre, William Creek, swim in the springs, go to Mount Dare, and then back across the Simpson Desert. And that's got all your meals and your bits and pieces. That's good value. Get hold of Clay Marks at Frontline Safari for that. It's red hot. I think there's a couple of places left there. We have intro number 2 in June. And that's the one where we're camped here because it's not going to be cold. You can camp here if you want. There are motels close by. You can do that. We will have the shed time in here. There'll be a big fire pit going. It'll be great. It'll be great. We have the North Coast 2-day location yet to be announced, but that's up in the North Coast. In July, we're going to Lithgow and we've got the insanely cold Lithgow to Orange, and that will be, what's the word I'm looking for? What is the word?
Epic.
Fucking cold. And then later on in June, we're going to the Coffs Harbour for the women's 2-day. So ladies, that's the second event. We do have a women's ride, sorry. It's a women's ride in February on the Central Coast here. Sorry, ladies, my bad. and then there's another ladies ride in July.
Get your girlfriend signed up.
Okay, bridge to bridge. It's an even year, so we're going to do a bridge to bridge. Now, we have talked a little bit about doing a bridge to bridge across Australia. We're going to have Perth, Coffs Harbour, Perth, Brisbane, Perth. We were going to do something like that. I'm too scared to run across Australia at the moment, given I just don't think WA and borders, and it's just, we'll try one border. So we went and asked many people that did our bridge to bridge rides before. We limit our bridge to bridge rides to 40 people. They're an epic event. Ask anyone that's been a bridge to bridge. They are some of the best events we run. We're going to do Brisbane to Sydney again. Pretty well the same, but totally different. Does that make sense? Same, but different?
Kinda.
Different locations, different riding, but the same riding, but different. That makes sense. So that is in August. We're getting there. Thanks for hanging in there. August should come September. September we've got the police ride, the wall to wall, and we'll get that back in so we can get the escort out of Sydney. We can go from the wall to the wall. Obviously this year with COVID and whatever, it's not happening. We'd still do an epic event, but we're missing that. And it should be the 7th or the 14th. It'll start in September. We're waiting on some dates from that. We've got a South Coast 2-day in the end of September. In October, we are going to do another intro out of Lithgow. We're going to do a Central West 2-day. It'll start maybe in Dubbo, I think. And then we've got the women's 2-day, women's 2-day out of. Now, ladies in Victoria have to tell me, I want to start this out of Omeo. I think the riding's better. I think we can go to better locations. Bright's good for the nightlife or whatever, but yeah, anyway, we'll put that to the poll. That is next year. We may jam another intro in. There may be a couple of slight changes. That's how the calendar's going. That's it. Everyone that can't make the rides that they've wanted to make, with the date changes, we've moved your stuff there. If you pick the same ride next year, and all the rides will go up a little bit, but if you pick the same ride next year and you've left your money with us, if it's gone up 20 bucks or something, we'll just put you in and it'll cost you no extra. I think that's it. Is there any questions? Sir?
No.
No questions. So we're just dead. This is a dead format.
We've answered everything.
Have we?
Mate, there's nothing else you would want to know.
Hang on. Hang on.
Here we go.
Just quickly finish up.
Scrolling. Okay, Yags, from Julian. 1-finger clutch. Have you used it yet?
Yes, I've got a 1-finger.
Say that fast.
I'm taking the camera.
1 finger.
I have a 1-finger camel clutch. I've got the camera on my 700. Can you get the light out, Stig? We'll go and have a look at mine. So there's a stand. We run these Yamaha crash bars, okay? If I put the Yamaha crash bar on, you can see between the end of the clutch lever there and the crash bar. Okay, there's the end of the clutch lever, there's the crash bar. Now, how this works, if you have a look here, you can see I don't have the crash bars on my bike because this 1-finger clutch is longer. Okay, so to run this 1-finger clutch, it will come in and hit on the crash bars. Now and I've seen this done, it has a different bracket and everything here. I'm gonna go back to the bike with the crash bars because I want to show you what someone's done. We had to think about this. You can see I don't have that on the furthest one either. I'm only the second hole in, there's 3 holes. I couldn't get enough free travel here to run the 3rd hole because you must have this on your clutch. You must have this free travel. If that's tight and that's tight on the cable, then the cable can be pulling, and if the cable's pulling, then it's pulling on the clutch. If you're pulling on the clutch a little bit while you ride, the clutch will slip. So back to this one. What someone has done, and we've thought about this, is you can cut away this piece of the crash bar of that tube. So we thought if we cut away that bit of tube, we might be able to extend the arm into there, and someone has done it. I did see it done. So yeah, hope that answers your question. Now, just on this, thanks for persevering at the start. We've tried a new camera because everyone was talking about the sound. So we got YouTube Live to work last week, but now to get it to work with a GoPro has been another challenge.
Now we had an extra question here from Ray. Ray's the sorry, Ray Stedronsky. G'day, mate. When are you coming to the state shakes and where?
Mate, we are
Cracking his neck.
we are
Ray, you can't wait.
we are looking to go to the States. And we're going to let the cat out of the bag. We're looking to go to the States now in 2023 is where the planning started. Rough plans are we want to do backcountry trail and we want to bring some Australians out. We've got 12 bikes to take over there. We want to probably go on to San Diego, somewhere around there. I've got a mate who's not far from there. We might be able to set up and run from there up the backcountry. Obviously, I'd like to take us to Vegas for a night. I think to ride your bike up the strip at Vegas will be great. We can't take David Poole because he'll end up lost in Vegas, but and work our way Death Valley and work our way up and sort of head up towards the top, towards Montana, and then maybe we get across to San Fran. That's where we let him go. We can fly another batch in and go back down. But after that's done, mate, Champ Ray, we need you guys. We're going to take all those bikes back over here. We're going to bring you over, and you can do Fraser Coast, you can do Simpson Desert Experience, or you can do a Victorian High Country Experience.
What about that? Well answered. Ray, we'd be busting to get over there, no doubt. One of the boys from the Moto Rides Gent again asked, with the Tenere ride, you were talking about the 700, is it okay to also bring a 660?
No, because
Okay.
it's a Tenere
So
700 ride.
It is purely
Yeah, sorry,
a
mate.
700 ride. Sorry,
But
brother.
if you come and ride, if you lives around there somewhere, if you come and take one of our 700s for a ride, you can then ghost your 660 into the dam because you won't ride it again after that, I'm sorry. They're that good.
They are good. 660 was a great bike.
So you had a 660, it's a great story. You had a 660 in this shed. I turned up on the 700 before it was officially released.
Yeah.
I was running it in.
Yeah.
I said, take it for a run down the back. He said, can I take it for? I said, go down the back and come back. I said, I'll warn you one thing. After you ride that, you won't want to ride yours again. Is that true?
Yes, it's true. And not only did I want it, but I bought it.
Yeah, you
once
bought
it
the
was
same
done.
bike.
Yeah. Scott Kemp was saying, mate, an important one. When are you coming? Oh, sorry. He was saying, what about a ride in the Wattigans for the newbies, say a day ride or something like that?
A one day?
Yeah. He doesn't mention that, but I'm chucking it in there.
Talked about it.
Yeah, we will, Scott. We'll do a day ride. Scott, you come on our intros, and you'll see got another rides. The intros up here, Scotty, will be good. The thing with the intros, if we start running our intros out of the compound here, and you camp, your only cost of fuel's weekend and any fizzy drinks you might have. Really, bring a couple of steaks up and put them on the barbie.
Mate, another hello from the US from Matt. Good to have you on board, Matt. Thank you for that. Andre's in. He said, "Let me know."
Oh, Andre, what a lovely guy. Andre won. So for people that don't know, Andre won the Wolfman, the I guess what would you call it? Yamaha limited edition, yellow and black Tenere we built for Wolfie Adventure Moto. Yeah, lovely bloke, lovely bike, good bike. Yeah, no, it was good. And to everyone in America, I was going to ask, is there a time frame that suits you guys over there for this sort of stuff? Very fond of going to America. Spent a lot of time over there. Love it over there. And what do I whinge about all the time? The biggest thing I've whinged about with COVID is what?
Not being able to go to the US.
Not being able to go to the US.
Yeah, hates it. Can't miss out.
Added that one, the Northerns.
Oh, what about Stevie again? Stevie Isberg. Any RideADV stickers, Greg?
The sticker's coming. I guess I got another announcement, something I would like to talk about everyone out there is that since RideADV's been going nearly 10 years now, I'd like to take, and I've done it before, but I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the companies that we've had with us since the start, but also like to thank one person. I'd like to thank Steve Smith from Adventure Moto. Steve was instrumental in having the contacts and getting us into some of the things that we did, and most importantly, I was riding a Yamaha 660 Tenere at the time when he introduced us to Yamaha and Yamaha came on board. Steve's been instrumental in that, and he's been a fabulous mentor and supporter the whole time with some of my harebrained ideas and stuff, but it's getting busier and busier and I'm under more and more pressure, and Steve could see that and has made the opportunity, as being part owner of RideADV Proprietary Limited, had the opportunity to say, look, you need more help than he can give because he runs his own multiple businesses. So, I don't guess it's any great secret that Crash, or Wayne, one of my oldest friends, him and Chicken, has come on board, taken over, bought Steve's part of it and is co-owner. There's a couple of changes going to happen around that, and that'll follow soon, but part of that is, with the stickers, we will get some coming, mate, yeah.
Well, Andre's...
And I have one other thing to say. These shirts, the question
Andre was asking you.
Okay, so these shirts, I spoke to the people today. These shirts will cost you $60. They are an SP, something another, sun-rated shirt. We'll have your nickname on it. We'll have our badge on it. And it'll be in this colour. It's a Pilbara shirt. They're top quality. It's my favourite thing I wear. They'll be $60 each, probably $65 post to your house. It'll take about 4 to 5 weeks to get a shirt in and out and ordered. But yeah, I'm more than happy. I'd love to have a few of them out there. So if you're going to do that, and we're also chasing some hats at the moment.
This is the power of marketing, Greg, when you've got a male model like yourself.
A part-time sex symbol, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know.
All right, cool.
All right.
I'm not asking.
That's us for tonight.
That's a wrap.
Hey, we're at lights at the end of the tunnel. One thing I do want to cover up before you go away, people have said, oh, you're not going to run any rides in October. We're very lucky. We do a lot of riding, and the skill set on adventure riding is totally different to skill sets for other sorts of riding. But it's a skill set that has muscle memory and has practice. A lot of us aren't practiced at the moment, and I'm really concerned that when everyone does get the opportunity to go, it'll be like the first lap of the Motocross Nations. When you get back out there, just ease into it. Be careful. Every way in his dog will be out there. The one thing I really want everyone to do, and I bang on about this all the time, the cameraman would sweep to this as I'm tapping this. One thing I do want everyone to do is to keep left, for God's sake, please keep left. It's just, you know, I've talked about COVID and where we're all at, but just keep left and be careful and look after one another. It's going to be insane when we do get out there. I'll try and get the link that we advertised during the week to work on this. I apologise. We do better rides and we build better bikes than we do this, but you know, hopefully we're getting this out there. If you have any questions during the week, we'll have a space where you can put them on, and I want everyone to have a great week and be safe, and look forward to being able to lock you.
Peace out.
See you guys.